Hello and welcome back to the Quiet Part Podcast. My name is Chris. How's everybody doing? Wow, what a big day. What a big momentous day for the news. And I'm not just talking about the fact that, guess what? Donald Trump is your president. And I've had fun reminding people of that all day long. Um, but there has been an awful lot that did get talked about today. And, well, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about all of it. Maybe Michael shows up, maybe he doesn't. I honestly do not know. But we're going to make it work regardless. So strap in, let's have some fun and get down to it. All right, what do we got for comments here today? We've got Biden pardons Fauci, Milley, and J6 committee in shocking admission of guilt. Trump is your president. Yes, that's right. Dr. Fauci, General Milley, and the J6 committee, plus literally all of Joe's family. And I couldn't be any happier about this. I am thrilled to death by the fact that he has now pardoned all these people. Because as Shane, I am never lonely when you're here. Just remember that. No, I am thrilled to death that Joe has pardoned all these people because none of these people have been charged with or convicted of any kind of crimes, which now sets a couple of different precedents here. One, and this is hilarious, it is clearly saying that they are guilty of something. Because why would they need to be pardoned? Why would we care to pardon them if they weren't? If there wasn't something there that Donald Trump's DOJ, Kash Patel, or somebody else could go after them for it, why pardon them? You can't say it's to protect them from unnecessary prosecution. You know, nobody is above the law. Remember this? Nobody is above the law. But then he pardoned Hunter, who's above the law now. Then he pardons Fauci, J6. Interestingly enough, he didn't pardon any of the nonviolent J6 offenders. Wonder why. You know, we of course got to continue prosecuting them. We got to go after those people. You know, I would have thought that if he was going to try to do something to steal Trump's thunder, because, you know, Trump has stolen his thunder on a few things over the past couple of weeks, you know, particularly with getting that Israel Hamas ceasefire done. Yeah, that could have been something. You know, pardon the actual J6 defendants who were nonviolent. Oh, you can't do that because you spent 4 years saying they perpetrated the worst attack on this country that we've ever seen. The worst attack, guys. How is this possible? So, yes, the news that he's pardoned these people is great. You've just said that they are guilty of bad things. We can't prosecute them. I still question whether or not these pardons can stand up because it is an unprecedented action. Pardons are supposed to be, first and foremost, for people who have been charged with or convicted of crimes. It actually says that. If they haven't been charged with or convicted of a crime, how can you pardon them? How can you preemptively pardon somebody for doing something that nobody knows that they did? You haven't investigated them. You haven't actually done anything. and you got a couple senators who are saying, hey, we're still going to call Fauci up and have him testify, because, hey, there is a benefit here, because he's been pardoned. He can't plead the fifth, and he's got to give a straight answer, and you can hold him to that. And then if he lies to Congress, well, guess what? You've now lied to Congress, and we can charge you for that. There are still avenues, but all of this got me thinking. I like to look at the things that they do and say, and look at for the silver lining. So here's the silver lining, guys. Because of this unprecedented action, because Joe Biden has done what no president has actually done before, I think he is truly testing the waters of the presidential pardon powers, the absolute nature of them. Because remember, the reason that these are so significant is because there's nothing that says what the limit in the Constitution for Joe to do this is. There's nothing limiting him. So, because of that, I see two great scenarios. One, after Donald Trump is done signing all of his executive orders, and he's got a lot of them that he's doing right now, he should then go ahead and pardon himself for all of his crimes that they've been trying to get him for the past 4 years. I'm going to include the state crimes. Joe Biden has just said the pardon power is absolute. We can pardon people for stuff they didn't actually do, apparently. So let Donald Trump pardon himself for state crimes. And when people say, well, that's still a state charge, and that's still the books. Nope. Pardon power is absolute. Now, there's going to be a lot of pushback on that, obviously. So you got to be concerned there. How about we really stick it to him? How about instead of pardoning himself for all crimes at the state level, be creative and have some fun with it. Pardon himself for any potential crimes that he may have committed from 2015 till January 30th, 2029. Cover his whole second term here. At the federal level. You see where I'm going with this yet? By doing that, then his 34 felony count conviction has to go away because they tied those misdemeanors to a federal crime to make that conviction possible. You've now taken away the possibility of that crime. And guess what? Those convictions have to go away. You've just taken them out of the equation altogether. Happy day. Donald Trump is no longer a convicted felon. I mean, we can really have some fun with this. Lifetime pardon. There you go. I saw some interesting numbers today too, which is surprising because I didn't know these ahead of time. But they looked at the past 4 presidents, including Biden, and the number of commutations or clemency orders that he's given is staggering. Most presidents, stick in the 100 to 300, 400 range. Joe Biden has granted clemency now to over 5,000 people. 5,000. The funniest part about all this is the bulk of that 5,000 were people on federal drug charges who ironically fell victim to his crime bill from 94. That signature piece of legislation that he couldn't run far enough away from when he was running for office 4 years ago. He was so proud of it in 94 and that forward. Yeah. Oh, that's the funny thing, Shane. That is the funniest part about this, Shane, because no, he doesn't have that many brain cells left. Even worse, he probably doesn't even know he pardoned them. He doesn't know their names. He doesn't know what they did. Somebody wrote this up for him, and he just wiggled his hand across the paper because there's no way he knew this. And that's always been a point of contention, right? You kind of have to know what the person did to say, you know what, I feel like you got a bad rap. I feel like, you've served your time appropriately. You got a harsher than normal sentence. We can do something about that. You were politically persecuted. We can do something about that. Ah, Iris. Iris, you're pointing out something very important here. What Mike Johnson said the other day, Biden does not know what he is signing. And Biden basically has said that. He doesn't know this. Why would he know that? No, Joe Biden checked out 4 years ago, and we all know this. They can claim all they want that he did not, that he was, mentally all there. And there have been moments where he has been lucid. Sure. But he hasn't been president for 4 years. He hasn't actually known what's going on. They stick a piece of paper in front of him and say, "Yeah, Joe, you're signing your ice cream order for the month. Here you go." "Oh yeah, I want some ice cream." The dude does not know what's going on, and I don't think he knows who he pardoned or why. I'm surprised he got his family in there today. I'm surprised he got Fauci, Million, the J6 committee. You know, somebody had to have done that. Said, you know what, we're gonna do these pardons for Joe's family, protect him, because effectively by pardoning his family, he pardons himself. One of the biggest complaints about Joe over the past 4 years is he has been complicit in his family's crimes because 10% to the big guy. Well, if you pardon all of them, they didn't commit any crimes, allegedly. Um, Now they don't have to confess to them. They can, just say, I have no idea what you're talking about. And Joe gets off scot free. Marvin Gaye knows more of what's going on than Biden. Thank you, Shane. Thank you. So, what do we think about these pardons, guys? Are you taking them in the same fashion as I am? Are you thrilled? Are you seeing all the possibilities that now Trump has because of first off, the Supreme Court's immunity statements, and because of the unprecedented nature of what Joe has done here? Think of the possibilities. Think of all the good things that Donald Trump can now do, and say, fuck it all. Absolutely. Pardon Bannon. Pardon the J6ers. Even the ones that, actually did do some violent actions, uh, who have actually been incarcerated for 4 years now. See, Daryl, I agree with what you're saying here. I do agree with this. But what I mean is, uh, that's not how I'm referring to it. So when they accept that pardon, they are tacitly admitting to doing wrong, but they're not having to admit to what they did wrong. You just the way they're written, they're currently, hey, I'm pardoning you for any crime you may have committed, just in case. He's not saying what that crime was, so you're not actually admitting to any crime. You're saying I might have done something wrong. You see where I'm going with that? That is the distinction. Oh, let's see what else do we got here. Like I said, a lot of stuff has happened today. This was kind of a funny one for me. Trump to end birthright citizenship. 200 executive orders to secure the border and begin deportation. Yes, Donald Trump has a mandate. No matter how anyone on the left is telling you, Donald Trump has a mandate. We are tired of the open borders. We're tired of the illegal immigrants coming in here. Nobody's stopping them, being told to stand down even. And, at the border, okay, just come on in, free for all. We're gonna put you in cities. We're gonna put you 700,000 people. We're actually gonna go pick up 700,000 of you and put you up in a hotel and give you temporary protected status, and it is all good. Except it's not all good. Donald Trump has the mandate to do something about this, and he has already started. He directed Department of Homeland Security to stop all crossings of illegal immigrants, send them back to Mexico. We're going to put this shit back in place, but remain in Mexico. And I'm loving it. I am perfectly okay with actual immigration. I'm perfectly okay with taking in people from other nations and say, you know what? You're a net benefit. Let's enjoy this. Come on in. You are welcome. But there is a process by which you come here. There is a legal process by which we bring you from your country to this country, and now we know you're here. We know what you're going to benefit us with. You're going to assimilate, and this is a good thing. But my God, you got to do it this way. You cannot. You cannot just come here all willy nilly. Aaron, if you were on YouTube, the answer would be no. But as you're the first one from X, yes. So welcome to being the first one on X. I got some great news for you, Aaron. There's a couple great pieces of news actually. One, you weren't here to hear this, but Donald Trump is your president now. You should be thrilled to hear that. Well, that sounds like a personal problem. Sorry, guys, I forgot. You don't get to see the X comments in the YouTube chat. That sounds like a personal problem for Aaron. Anyway, the other good piece of news for you, Aaron. I know you love this type of weather. Right now, it is 0 degrees here, and it feels like minus 18. Doesn't that just make you happy to know that information? I figured I'd share it with you specifically because my furnace just isn't doing the job it should be doing. It has been rough. It is actually so cold here that rather than wearing gym shorts like I normally do, I'm actually wearing jeans. I am wearing the hoodie still, but that was normal. I like hoodies. You know, me and Fetterman, we're kindred spirits. I saw what he was wearing at the inauguration today, and I supported that. Carhartt hoodie, just like this one, and shorts. You do you, my friend. No, that doesn't happen at 48. I'm just telling you, it takes a little bit more for that to happen. Um, uh-oh, I got a biddy. I see Biddy. Biddy, how you doing? Saw you streaming earlier. I didn't get a chance to tune in. Yes, more Carhartt hoodies. I know for a while there, people were saying you gotta abandon the Carhartt hoodies because they're not made in America or something. Honestly, I've owned these things for several years now. Best damn hoodies I've ever owned, and I have several of them. You know, nothing beats them. They're warm, they're comfortable, and they're holding up. Why would I get rid of them? I am doing well. And I'm happy to hear you're doing great because guess what? Donald Trump is your president and celebrate that. Bridget, I'm going to have to see a picture of that. I don't know what you're talking about. Um, Looks great in that jacket. And media keeps coming for him. You know what? Let him. If he looks great in it, that's what it should be. All right. So let's keep going. Donald Trump's going to end that birthright citizenship. Yes. Come here legally. Do not come here illegally, have a kid, and expect us to take that kid in and by extension you. Did your business plan get censored? I don't know what your business plan is. You haven't seen Biddy in a while. She hasn't been on the show. She has other stuff she has to be doing. Bryce, um, she hasn't been able to hang out with us like she had been in the past, and we accepted that. It's unfortunate, but she is always welcome to come back when she has an opportunity. She just has to let me know. But yeah, we should not be expected to take you in because you had a kid here because we can't send the new citizen back to Mexico with you. They're a citizen in the U.S. No, put an end to that. It's been it has been crazy, in fact, on you know X today because of this one thing, right? Krasensteins. You guys know I love the Krasensteins so much that I can't just let their comments go. I have to point out their own stupidity. You know, Ed Krasenstein today pointed out that Donald Trump thinks he can, with an executive order, end birthright citizenship of the 14th Amendment. How stupid is Donald Trump for that? Well, Ed, tell me about this 28th Amendment that Joe Biden thinks he just came up with all on his own on Friday. Tell me a little bit about that. If Donald Trump can't do this with an executive order, then Joe Biden can't just by saying it make the 28th Amendment a real thing. Be consistent, Ed. That's all I'm asking. New business plan for those wishing to change their downstairs. Free internship at ranches in Montana. Offering to freeze the berries off. You, you know what? You know what's funny, Aaron? You know what's funny about that statement? It shouldn't be censored, and you spelled censored wrong. Um, Sorry, I had to point that out. What's funny about that is if I ever got what I call FU money or F it money, I personally would love to buy a ranch in Montana. I would love to own a ranch in Montana. It's beautiful country up there. It does have the downside of being cold, but I can have a fireplace and stay warm. I'm good with that. Well, Brian, if she does that to you on Sunset Ranch, you should chastise her for it. That's all. You should always call out her bad spelling. She has great ideas. She just has to learn to spell them. Yes, I know. I'm laughing inappropriately. That's right. Nothing warms your bones like a fire in the stove. Honestly, fire is great. If I could take some of the, fire from LA right now and just put it in my front yard, I'd be okay with that. It warms up the ambient air. Touche, Aaron. This is true. You don't need to spell to make sandwiches, but you do need to be able to spell to know whether it's peanut butter and jelly or ham and cheese, right? Howdy to Rick. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while, but that's okay. You got things going on. She's learning to grok. Be very oof. What is she learning to do on grok, Brian? That's what scares me. What is she learning? Is she learning to code? Is she taking Joe's advice? Is she learning to code? Is she trying to justify her reason to be here? I think she's an actual citizen though, so she doesn't have to worry about getting sent away. So what's the problem? You for anyone not seeing this on X, I feel like I got to keep putting this stuff up here because nobody else in YouTube gets to see these things, and that's a conversation happening somewhere, and I think you guys need to be aware of it. So, maybe I can, set up something so it automatically does this for me. Just all the comments will just appear for you. We'll see how I make that happen. Anyway, back to the news. Donald Trump is, in addition to ending birthright citizenship, signing 200, yes, 200 executive orders today. I feel like the man has had to actually rest all weekend long in preparation for this. Man, he's going to get carpal tunnel at the age of 78 years old. We can't have that. He's got to continue signing stuff throughout the next 2 years at least. Hopefully, the next 4 years. He's got to pace himself a little bit. Let's see what is this is a lot to read here. Border Patrol agent in Vermont was killed by an illegal alien while Trump was being sworn in. Oh, this is yeah. Go go click on that link and read that story, guys. This is that is something that should not be happening. And I'd be interested, as this illegal alien be doing this had run-ins with the law. Is he out on bail? Did he do something that got him incarcerated and they just let him go? And it was done to allow him to get away before Trump gets into office. So that way Trump can't find him. These are the questions. This is why we need strong immigration bills. This is why we need to do something about our border. We cannot allow this to keep happening. The president of Planned Parenthood also passed away, it seems. Don't be too sad, though. It was just a clump of cells that expired. Truer words. Truer words have never been spoken. That darn clump of cells. Because that's all we are. We ourselves are just a clump of cells. Isn't that great? And this is why I like Erin's comments, because she brings the funny with everything she says. And we welcome that here. Anyway, what else do we got here? I got to keep moving, guys. Otherwise, I'm not going to get to all these stories, and you're going to feel like I missed something important, maybe. Now, we all know nothing I say is important, but sometimes the news is actually important. The TikTok shutdown was a stunt. Trump vows to restore the app, but has no actual power to do so. And this has been all weekend long. It's been crazy talk. Uh, TikTok's going to shut down. Well, guess what? TikTok never actually had to shut down. That was never a requirement. The law said ByteDance had to divest from TikTok. They could have sold it. They had 9 months to do so. They could have sold it. They could have spun it off into its own entity and set up headquarters here in the US, let it continue. They could have made money off of it. They could have still been shareholders of this new company. As long as it's ran by a US based company, there was nothing wrong with it. Not a single thing wrong with them taking it for themselves and putting it here, and they could have continued on. No. TikTok instead chose to not field any actual offers. They instead pushed all the way up to the deadline and said, all right, we're just going to turn it off because that is the better solution. You see what happens there? They got it turned off and everyone was so upset. Oh my God, how are we going to be without TikTok? You're hurting the First Amendment. You're not hurting any rights. They chose to do that shit. And then Donald Trump says, no, I'm gonna make it, a thing. It's even worse because, as Tim points out, it is still not available on the Google Play Store. It's still not available in Apple's library. If you have the app, you can continue using it. And that would have been the case moving forward. If they had done nothing except Apple and Google stopped making it available for you to download that app and make those updates available, then you can continue using the app indefinitely. They chose to shut it down. What was even funnier is it wasn't just shut down here in the US. There were people reporting all over the world that TikTok shut down for them even. That's the way to go, scorched earth. That's the definition of I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. TikTok is a cancer. For anyone who has used TikTok, I really want to know. Post this in the chat somewhere. Do you ever just go onto TikTok and watch 2 videos? Is it really just, oh, I got a couple minutes here and off you go? And the reason I ask that is because in my own experience, I used TikTok in the past, and it was literally, oh, I've got a couple minutes. I'm just going to watch a couple videos real quick. And then 2 hours later, I'm going, shit, where'd that time go? Because it was just that easy to, oh, just one more, just one more, just one more. And that's where the brain rot starts. TikTok is bad, and the decision to ban it here was more than just its content, because China doesn't allow TikTok. That's right. The country that runs TikTok, where the based out of, doesn't allow TikTok to operate in their country. Isn't that crazy? China does not allow this. Why should we? What I will give TikTok credit for is their algorithm. They are really good at showing you content that you want to see. Yeah, Lynch Mob, he could do that. It's not going to happen though. China is not going to allow Facebook or X to operate there. They have their own apps run by their own companies. It is absurd to allow a company from China to operate here when we don't get that same reciprocity. They don't allow it. If we go with Brian's argument, freedom or something, it's not freedom. We don't have to allow them to operate here. There's a lot of things coming from China that we don't allow those companies to operate here because they're not going to follow our laws. They're not going to follow our regulations. Now, you can say those regulations and laws go too far, certainly, but we don't have to allow them to do that. We don't have to give them the space to do these things. So why is it social media is any different? Sorry, Brian. It's the internet. I can't tell sarcasm. You know this. Oh, shall we keep going? We can keep talking about TikTok, but there's nothing more to say. They should be shut down. We should no longer ever hear the phrase TikTok again. Well, Brian, I do know you, buddy. I do. I know you so well. In fact, I know that you like beans in your chili. I'm waiting for the next comment, by the way. I know it's going to be a good one. Snoop backs Trump and liberals are pissed. Trump won over celebrities and is taking back culture. Yes, look at this headline on the actual story. They are so pissed because this whole thing where they say, you know what, Joe Biden, yeah, he may have been friends with that KKK Klansman, but he changed his mind on these opinions. He said the N word on the Senate floor, but no, he doesn't believe those things. He is evolved. He can change his opinion. He flip flopped on this piece of legislation. That's fine. He can change his mind. Snoop Dogg and many other celebrities did not like Donald Trump 4 years ago. They didn't like him 8 years ago. They very publicly came out and said and did bad things against Donald Trump. Are they not allowed to change their opinion? Are they not allowed to take in new information? I got to keep up with the chat here. Let's see here. Brian, you're being called out, I believe. You can't spell, and you agree the 1911 suffers from significant reliability and accuracy issues and makes it nearly worthless. I don't know. I mean, as an iconic piece of history, is that possibly true? I mean, probably not, because you got to go hide under a desk to face the wrath of Brian. Brian, I know tends to like the 1911. Yeah, I thought they were lies, Brian. I thought so. I thought so. Now I've been told personally, instead of buying a 1911, I should buy a what is it, 2011? You know, because it's so much better. You know, I'll defer to you on that answer though. So yes, many celebrities are coming out. They're not afraid to come out anymore. They're not afraid to say, "Yeah, I support Trump," because guess what? There are so many of them now doing this. There is a benefit. Call it the Trump effect. I don't know what you want to call it, where it is no longer a bad thing to say, I support Donald Trump. And the more celebrities that actually do this, the better it is for all of them. Now, personally, when it comes to politics, if a celebrity says, I'm endorsing this candidate, I don't care. I don't care what their opinion is on the candidate. I don't care if they endorse him or hate him. Because simply put, I like to make up my mind for myself. I like to take in the information and make that informed decision myself. I don't care what the person singing and dancing on screen tells me simply because they're not me. They have different worldviews, they have different experiences. They're not smarter than me. Well, maybe they are smarter than me when it comes to making money because they make a whole lot more than I ever have. But that's neither here nor there. They don't they don't know politics better than I do. They don't know politics better than you do. So when they come out and say I endorse this candidate, okay, cool. Ah, the best news of the day, other than Donald Trump is your president. Trump just signed 1,500 January 6th pardons. Congratulations to those 1,500 people. I am sorry that you were treated the way you have been for the past 4 years. And I really do mean that. I want you to know that most of America did not want you to go through this. Oh, Brian, you're gonna have to teach some people some things. But I'll let you have that conversation, you know, in your own time. Anyway, Snoop Dogg performed at the ball on Friday. Okay, what's wrong with that? It was an opportunity to perform. Good job, guys. AOC says this is the beginning of Trump's authoritarian regime in an unhinged rant. Leftists are losing it. Now, I saw this and I have to question. I just have questions. Has AOC ever had anything other than an unhinged rant? I thought that was just normal for her. I mean, I thought it was just normal for her to speak like that because she doesn't make much sense anyway. But she's bringing up the authoritarian regime again as if she doesn't know what a Donald Trump presidency is going to be like. She already went through 4 years of it. Make AOC a bartender again. Yes. Yes, Brian. I don't even think she's qualified to be a bartender at this point. Can she make a drink? I don't know. We will have to let the citizens of whatever town she moves to decide that. But sadly, the people of her district are going to keep voting for that glass of water and she's going to keep winning. Yeah, I just called her a glass of water. Can she make a sandwich though? That is a good question. I'm going to ask my making expert, Aaron. Does AOC know how to make a sandwich? Okay, Biddy. I know where Biddy lives. She can tell from experience. Does AOC know how to make a sandwich? Is she qualified to do that? These are the questions I need answers for. I know it's scary when I have to ask this sort of question, right? I don't know how AOC ever got elected in the first place. I don't know how she continues to get elected. She is we the Democrats elected John Fetterman, a couple of years ago, and his brain was literally broken at the time. And even he sounded more intelligent than AOC on any given day. Do do with that information what you will. AOC is not she's not somebody I would vote for personally, unless it was, I don't know. You'd have to put her in a competition against, equally attractive women, and she probably wouldn't win in that regard either. Because we do have a Representative Luna in Florida that would probably beat her hands down regardless. Maybe she put something in the drink. Aaron with the answers. Thank you, Aaron. She drugged her patrons. Gotcha. For shame. So yes, AOC unhinged, talking dumb shit again. People obviously listened because they kept tweeting it out and it became an actual news story. I don't know what to I don't know what to say about this. I don't know why anyone listens to her. If I see her on or I see a video pop up on my feed, I keep it muted. That's literally the extent of how much I care about what AOC has to say. I'll take a look, but it's going to be mute. It's like watching music videos from the early or late 90s, early 2000s, you know, Britney Spears. I not a Britney Spears fan, but I'll watch those videos. There's a lot of woke people in her district, but you expect a lot of funniness going on with voting. That is possibly true. And we got some real information from Shane. Representative Ro Khanna from California is going to be on Timcast IRL. I have heard that Josie, the redheaded libertarian, will also be on. Do, can we make this a battle royale? I want to see that happen because I don't think there's defense of what's going on the left. And Josie is very, very good at calling this kind of shenanigans out. But kudos to the representative for actually being willing to come on, mind you. I will give kudos for that. All right. I'd say we're saving the best for last, but I mean, I wasn't really thrilled with this segment either. Tech oligarchs surrendered. Steve Bannon roasts Zuckerberg, calls him untrustworthy. Yes, I'm going to give 2 thumbs up on this one. Steve Bannon is 100% correct. You can't trust Zuckerberg. How can anyone trust him? He flip flops more than AOC does. Yes, Zuckerberg has come out and said we're gonna end the censorship, we're gonna end the fact checking, we're gonna do all these things, right? Because he wants to keep his company profitable. His company is doing terribly with all this woke garbage. He wants to continue making money. He wants more people to come to Facebook. And guess what? The way to get more people to come to Facebook is to stop doing this dumb shit. Or, as Brian says, water is wet. Yes, very true statement, Brian. Water is wet. Mark Zuckerberg is bending the knee, kissing the ass as much as he can possibly do because he doesn't want action from Congress. He doesn't want action from the Trump administration. He wants to continue doing what he's doing, and he'll suffer for 4 years if that's what it means. But he will build back his platform a little bit. He will get people to come back in. You know, hey, look at all the great things that Facebook is now doing because it cares about you. It wants you to come back. Well, I'm not going back to Facebook. I can't stand it. I left Facebook years ago. And I suspect most of you have done the same. There was nothing there for me. It just became echo chambers for the people on the left. You couldn't advertise there. Your account with the most mundane post could be suspended. There is no reason to allow for that to happen. We shouldn't forgive Zuckerberg because he changed his mind on that. We shouldn't forgive him because he realized he's, losing money. He's going to have to do some real things to make me consider saying, yeah, I recommend Facebook to anyone who actually wants to go for this reason or that. Maybe allow it to just be what it used to be. You know what? I got things going on in my life. I got, events that I've been going to. Oh, wait, that's called Instagram. I was just saying, post a picture of this great day that I had. No conversation needed. Here's this cool thing that I did today. Like my shit. And Instagram has its own problems. Yeah, we haven't forgot about the secret sex trafficking rings that happen within Instagram that you guys know about, Zuckerberg. We haven't forgotten that one. Maybe do something about that too. We do not need such things happening. We don't need to be peddling that kind of content. This is no longer your clientele. Epstein's gone. He didn't hang himself. We don't want to peddle that. Diddy's been caught. End that shit. And I think everyone will agree. I mean, Brian seems to. No forgiveness. Don't give him any more of your money. As simple as that. Not another dollar sent to Facebook. And I realize Facebook was free, but you were the product, not the other way around. So you were technically giving your money, even though you didn't realize it, because you in some way bought from somebody that advertised there and bought that data, and yeah, they just kept feeding that payment cycle. Sorry guys, I like to rant about Facebook. I don't like it very much. It took me 10 years to even get on the platform to begin with. And then I was only there for a couple of years and I was like, nah, I'm out. But that is life. So let's see, what do we got here? It is a couple minutes left. Let's see, how do we end the show here? Guys, check out Sunset Rants. I know Roman Nation Network has been doing a lot of things all day long, but they still have Sunset Rants happening here in a little bit. I don't know exactly what time. Someone can put that time in the chat for me. You will hear their opinions. I'm sure they're going to have some great inauguration day coverage to talk about. They're probably going to talk about some of these exact same things because they like to talk about the news as well. 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Biddy. And you can find that on X at Romanation. I can't remember what his handle is, but you can find it there. Biddy will post a link, I'm sure, on her profile. Brian will post something as well. So find them there. What else we got? Get fit, practice gratitude, stay humble, eat well. I'm missing something. I don't remember. I have Michael here to normally remind me of these things. Guys, I'm going to pull the plug here a couple minutes early, I guess, because I can't think of anything else. But one thing you should absolutely do is, first off, check out the Real Roma AK at X, and that's where you're going to find Sunset Rants. But the other thing you should absolutely do, thank you, Biddy, is go fishing. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, the episode was a surprising one. The news usually is. If you want to follow us and get more content from us, you can follow us at Quiet Part Pod at YouTube, Quiet Part Pod on Rumble, at Real Chris Noski on X. And of course, right here, YouTube is going to show you videos that they think you might like because you're already watching this one. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time.